Hey guys, I am doing as I promised and making 8 videos to show you my process. I kind of cheated a little bit and I don't have a very good setup, but hopefully that changes in the next couple of weeks. The first page I'm going to do is my favorite drink. And my favorite drink is coffee. And I'm sure you've probably noticed that because I post it constantly. Anyway, so I always add a stamp, and sometimes I add words cut out from, excuse me, a magazine or dictionary. And in this case, I added all 3 to take up quite a bit of space on the tiny sheet of paper. And from there, I'm going to draw a coffee cup. So I am going to grab a gray pencil, and my trick is to use a template. So I use my masking tape, and that makes a great big coffee cup. I'm sure you can hear my cat back there having himself a little fit because he can't come in and play with us. Add on the handle. And then to add the rim, I just kind of go in Sorry, I can't talk and draw. It is not something that I'm used to doing. So I am drawing the handle and giving it just a little bit of depth. I'm sure that this will come easier to me as time goes on, but for now, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I'm using Amsterdam acrylic ink to make my coffee. And sometimes I use pencil, sometimes I use watercolor, but in this case, I am just using the Amsterdam burnt umber. And it makes nice, delicious black coffee. Got to get it in between those little pieces of magazine clippings. And the way I decide to stick them down is pretty random. I don't have any preconceived notion as to what the page is going to look like. I just go in and I stuck the magazine clippings down before I started because I figured you probably can figure out how to stick that down because most of you already do mixed media. Okay, so I got that in there. Let's make it a little bit darker. And then, of course, we're going to have to wait for that to dry. So that we can add some foam. I'm trying to do this without having to edit because, frankly, I'm not really sure how to do that at this point. Which is why you're going to hear the cat in the background having a fit the entire time. All right, that's pretty smooth, and I might have to go back over it with a little bit of pencil, which is not an issue at all. Now I go and add a little color to the rim. Just so that it kind of stands out a little bit. You can do whatever color that you want. Oh, he is out there having a canary because he can't come in here and play too. And then after I do my drawing, then I start writing. And it's going to be a little bit hard because I have wet paint there, but I write whatever random thing comes to my mind. So coffee is definitely what I drink all day long. And I make my consonants little. I always use a small I. And if I want to take up more space, I make a larger S. And notice that when I separate the word, I don't put a dash at the end, or there's going to be dashes all the way down. And I feel like that kind of looks a little bit weird. So instead, I just split the word, no dash, and it makes it a little bit difficult to read, but it's fun to write. At the end of the sentence, I always put a dot instead of any punctuation. I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool. You could put a heart, you could put a dash, whatever you like. And I'm sure that I'm not explaining what I do very well because, again, I'm not used to doing this, and I don't usually talk when I draw, so it's kind of hard to write and talk, obviously, but to draw and talk, It's just not something that I typically do. So the edges are kind of wonky. I just go in with a pen and make them a little bit more perfect. That poor boy is out there just meowing, having a fit. I will let him in there in a few minutes. All right, so now I'm going to add the froth. And all I do is a dot and a circle, dot. And you can do as much or as little froth as you want. You can fill in some of the bigger ones, make tiny ones, and you can stop there if you want to. It looks cute enough. You can add some floating in the middle. And I'm sure that's plenty. And now to finish my words.
It's a dog.
I don't know what I want to write. Sometimes I just make a list. I don't know. I like my coffee with cream and sweetener. And I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but I pre-drew lines so that I could write in a straight line all the way across, and I do it super light with just a regular pencil. And when I'm done writing, most of the time I put a little heart or just the little dot or whatever. I have my art cart along the side here, and I just grabbed a brown pencil, And I'm kind of filling in a little bit of the coffee to make it darker. And that is how I do a tiny little page. And that's how it turns out with a drawing, writing, clippings, and a stamp. I'm sure that you guys will have questions for me. And usually I do a lot more. It's a lot more polished, but I didn't want to do too much on the first one because it's the first time I've ever done this. So I'm a little bit nervous as to how it's going to turn out. And the last thing that I do is I go through and I erase the faint little lines that I drew in before, trying not to smudge anything. And that's it. That is my finished little page. Thanks for watching me, you guys. Bye.